Was that not the most epic episode of The Walking Dead you've ever seen? The best moment in the show's entire history. We're going to talk all about it. Spoilers ahead for the season 7 finale. We are live for After the Dead. What's going on, Deadies? How about that finale? This is our finale of After the Dead with Season 7. I'm your host, Brandon Davis. Call me BD. Joined tonight by Janelle Wheeler. Yes, usually we would have the Ultimate Tori or Tori Yates or here. She's at WrestleMania.
Oh my
She's
gosh,
having
I'm
the time
so
of her
jealous,
life.
but
I'm not jealous.
She's
We got to
missing
watch the best episode of The Walking Dead in the show's entire history.
I'm like shaking from this episode.
This was amazing. The Hilltop showed up. Shiva was eating saviors.
Shiva.
Oh my gosh, guys, we've been geeking out all day. We have Pollyanna McIntosh on standby with Skype. We're going to get to her in just a couple minutes. But first, I want to point something out. This was the 99th episode of The Walking Dead in its entire series run. 99 episodes. You know season 8 is coming. We don't have an exact date yet. I would expect it October 14th or 21st, one of those two Sundays. But that means 100 episodes with the season 8 premiere. It is so hard to get to that many episodes on television today. The Walking Dead did it.
Congratulations, Walking Dead family.
Yes, congratulations,
We
Walking
did
Dead
it.
family. You guys, that's because you guys at home are all watching it, geeking out just like we are. But I got a chance to catch up with some of the cast and crew about what 100 episodes means to them, which was really cool. So don't take it from me, just take it from them. Season 8 premiere is 100 episodes. It's amazing to get this far in television. You guys are doing such a great job of keeping people interested. How do you guys plan ahead for the 100th episode? What do you guys have in store? What can you say about what you have in store?
The way we plan ahead is to live in abject terror and anxiety. It isn't about necessarily planning the 100th episode. It's sort of planning the next 100 episodes. And in a lot of ways, we've planned out this show into, many seasons from now. The comic book affords us that. And then the inspiration we get from the comic and the things we want to see even more of.
I think it's probably going to mean a lot more to people like Andrew Lincoln and Melissa Mcbride, who've been in it since the beginning, getting to 100 episodes, than it will for me. It will be like, I'm happy to be here. I'm still here. I'm along for the ride at this point.
Well, the writers keep it interesting. Carol's transitioning. She surprises me all the time. Yeah. I think just she's very creative. It's a good team and new ways to kill walkers all the time. I think they're just clever and creative, and being a part of something that is going into its 8th season and 100th episode, I never would have imagined that I would be a part of anything like this. So it's very, very cool.
What I'm hoping for the season premiere to be next year is the kickoff of the next 100 episodes. The promise of more story and another future, and every 8 episodes we try to reinvent ourselves, and we're going to try and do it again in a way that's very pronounced, and I hope people dig it.
100 episodes. That is so fantastic. Scott Gimple wants 100 more. He wants 200 more. He wants the show to go 20.
Good, because we do too.
We're ready for it. After tonight's episode, the show is not slowing down, and we're how many years in? That's pretty awesome. But without further ado, guys, I don't know how you're going to feel about our special guest after what she pulled on the show tonight. Pollyanna McIntosh, she plays Jadis, joining us now. Pollyanna, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
We need to talk about this episode, but first I have one question for you. Why do you guys talk like that?
For me, it's just a way that Jadis can really keep both feeling together with this of their own that nobody really uses, and kind of have an weirdness for writers.
Okay, well, so I want to talk about what Jadis did in tonight's episode. So Jadis totally betrayed Rick. I'm wondering if you have some insider info. Was this Jadis's plan all along, or was this just spur of the moment? She met Negan later.
It's funny when you say she betrayed, because we haven't known each other long. I think it's a lot worse to go to people that know how longer. Really tell you what her plan was, or whether I decided to do it earlier than I did, then find out as the audience. But yeah, she do what she has to do for people.
That's fair enough. It seems like that's what every leader is up to in the apocalypse, doing what they have to do for their people. But you shot Rick Grimes. I don't know. That's pretty. What's
He's just
that?
crazy. Except for crazy nuts.
Yeah, that was crazy. The tiger. Let me ask you something. Did you get to interact with the tiger on set at all?
Amanda is very lovely. Sorry, out.
Very true, very true. I guess you should consider yourself lucky there. Yeah, honestly, you never know what's going to happen. But so Jada's kind of ran off. We don't know her fate right now. Will we see more of Jadis in the future? I really hope so. Actually, I don't know. She was really mean.
Yeah, I think there's lots to be done after this. Sorry, it's slightly just my voice echoes, so it's really like I'm talking echoey version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think remember I want to see her punished. Really. I want to see the guys rise up. So, as an audience member, there in order to get on board, or to suffer some punishment. Because I'm a fan of the show, on the outside, but as a member of the cast, I would say as much as possible. I love it.
Well, I'm ready for more. It sounds like you have a lot of ideas of what could come next. I'm wondering, so far with this show, you've done a few episodes now. I'm wondering if you have a favorite scene with Jadis, and especially in tonight's episode, you got to work with a lot of the best actors on the show, with Jeffrey, with Andrew, with Melissa. Everybody was there. Who really brings the best out of you on set?
Well, as you really every to one length of time is these characters, and I'm grateful, fun, and compassionate actor. So, yeah, he welcomed my first day. We had loads of fun in our seats together, and he was pretty nice about being so awful in the finale. So he's a good rock.
That's fantastic. It seems like once you join this family, I mean, you're part of it forever. Now, I want to thank you so much for joining the show tonight. I'm sure this is a big night for you, so I won't keep you too long. But before I let you go, I'm totally taking a selfie with you on the monitor here. Me and Janelle are gonna squeeze a selfie with you. Ready? Ready for this?
Okay. Which way?
That is it. I'm going to tweet that at you. Pollyanna, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for being a part of tonight's amazing episode. That was phenomenal. I cannot wait for season 8. I know you're going to be there. If you kill any of my favorite characters, I'm coming for you.
Fair enough. Well, fun fact for your viewers.
What's that?
Can I give you a fun night for your viewers?
Yes, fun. Give us a fun fact.
Okay, both and I thought we would be on Pacific time, so I was thinking, let me speak to you. I haven't even seen the episode, and I was on mascara on.
You're beautiful. You're stunning without the mascara.
Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. This was fantastic. We're going to keep geeking out, but I want you to go enjoy the night. She is fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
It's hard to hate her.
It took everything in me not to ask her about the Michonne-Rick situation with the love interest.
Yeah, I'm saying Jadis might have a little thing for Rick. That was weird.
I think so.
I lay with him when we're done.
I loved it. That was probably my favorite Jadis moment of the entire series so far.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a second.
Love
but
to
the
hate.
first thing I want to talk about is Eugene. Eugene, he totally sucks now. I mean, there's no way around it. Eugene just kind of sucks.
I absolutely, I agree with you, and they definitely played it up, and when they went into battle mode, they did show him saying he is Negan and everything, but at the end, there was that little reveal when he was talking to Sasha, and she said she still believes in him, she still thinks that he can do right by our group, and I still am trying to hold out hope for our boy.
See, I don't think there is any hope, and I think Eugene's allegiance was sealed when he offered Sasha a pill for suicide instead of helping her.
Totally.
Instead of showing her a way out of the sanctuary,
Yes.
he said, here you go, kill yourself.
Yes.
I know we're friends, but instead of allowing you freedom and saving you, I'm just going to let you kill yourself.
Yeah.
I can't get behind Eugene anymore. I think I'm done with him.
Especially with how much he loved Abe, and he knows how much Abe loved her. You would think that he would kind of, as like an homage or out of respect for, his fallen comrade, that, he would show Sasha some mercy.
And speaking of Abraham, tonight's episode was just a shot in the feels.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, those Abraham flashbacks were really just, I loved them. I wish this show would do more flashbacks. I want to know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you enjoy the flashbacks? Because I'm a huge fan of Lost. Everybody knows that. But do you guys enjoy the flashback stuff? I really think it's awesome. I love when Fear the Walking Dead did it, so I would love to see The Walking Dead do it more. But that
Totally.
might
I was really holding out hope that we'd have a Glenn flashback moment, but we did get a little tribute to him with the pocket watch. We got Herschel, we got Glenn, and we had a little moment with Maggie, and her speech was just touching, and I cry as usual. I cry during this episode.
She's a crier. You've seen it, guys. I've filmed her watching the show. We've had segments of Janelle crying.
It was great. I honestly couldn't hope for anything more. This episode had everything. It had the action. It had the touching moments. It had the death.
Oh my gosh, the action was unbelievable.
Had the
That
flashback.
sequence, you have to give so much credit to Greg Nicotero, the executive producer who directed this episode. Those action sequences were amazing, especially with the tiger. The tiger was just coming in, eating saviors, and we've been waiting for that for so many weeks now. We finally got it. That was straight out of the comics. The way Shiva dives into battle, I thought it was fantastic. Thank God she didn't get shot. I will say, in the comics, Shiva does suffer a dark fate. Shiva is immune to zombies. She can get bit and survive, but she can't get devoured and survive. There's actually a page. There's actually a page in the books. Yeah. Shiva goes down swinging. She saves Ezekiel's life, but the zombies get the best of her.
I'm glad we got her for one solid, battle. We had her. She had her huge moment.
Yeah.
He was like jumping up and down, screaming. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Gosh, I love that tiger. And they did a great job. I was a little worried about the CGI because, people have been critical of that. But I think they did a great job. I heard that they used not only CGI but also a puppet, and they did a great job.
Yeah, it was an awesome balance. But we were just talking about how Eugene sucks. I want to point out that Dwight doesn't suck anymore. Dwight's one of my favorite characters.
And you called this from the jump.
Hey, you heard it here first, guys.
Yeah.
It's your boy.
Brandon knew. I was really impressed with Dwight. I was really impressed with the way that he was able to kind of convince the group, especially Daryl. I think that Tara was kind of getting on my nerves a little bit with bossing, Daryl around. It's like, if you want to kill Dwight, you kill him. Don't make Daryl.
Yeah.
Daryl's trying to decide for himself what he wants to do. But that was such a sweet moment too. Like, not sweet as in loving, but sweet as in cool.
There was a really cool comic book moment realized in tonight's episode where Michonne was fighting whoever that was from the junkyard up on top of that balcony. That was straight out of the comics. Actually, it was Andrea, because Andrea's still alive. I know, guys, we're not going to get into it. Andrea is the one dating Rick in the comics. That's all you need to know. So Andrea gets in a fight. She's got the rifle. She starts getting beat up by a savior, actually, because these scavengers, junkyard gang, don't exist in the comics. So don't listen to anybody who tells you otherwise. I promise you, they're not there. So she gets totally beaten, and Rick sees a body fall off, and then he's happy to see that it was a savior, and that was just pulled straight from the books. And if this whole episode tells us anything, it's that the show is following the comics. It's going to continue to follow the comics. It has done it all season long. With Abraham being killed, that was a course correction because he narrowly escaped his death when it was given to Denise. Glenn was killed exactly how he was in the comics. Spencer was killed just like he was in the comics. It has followed the comics so closely. And then tonight, we had Sasha getting killed. Very similar to how she was in the comics. We'll touch on that in just a minute, but we do have a cool video remembering Sasha, all of her best moments, guys. R.I.P. Sasha. Here you go. R.I.P. Sasha. She's out with Bob, Tyrese, Abe, Glenn, Herschel, Beth. She's in a better place now, hopefully.
I don't know how she did it. I mean, like with the music and the, gosh. I mean, I will say Eugene made a pretty good playlist, a death playlist.
He sure did. You know, what if she had come out of that coffin swinging? She would have had a better chance of killing Negan.
I agree.
She could, maybe, I don't know. But here's what happened in the comics. So Sasha's comic book counterpart is a girl named Holly. And she was delivered to Alexandria, and Negan knew she was dead. She had either been killed or died somewhere between being kept prisoner in the sanctuary and being delivered to Alexandria. And she put a bag over her head, and Negan used her as a weapon. So this already happened on Fear the Walking Dead, which is why they changed it. On Fear the Walking Dead second season, Madison had to do a little trade with two people who they accidentally killed, or with Connor, who they accidentally killed, and they handed him over, and then he bit his family, and she was able to get Travis and Alicia back to the boat. So the people on The Walking Dead were like, no, we can't do it. They already did it on Fear. Although most of you probably didn't know that because only a fraction of the people who watch The Walking Dead even watch Fear. It has about 4 million viewers per week as opposed to the 10 on a bad week for The Walking Dead. But that's why they changed it up a little bit. What that does change, though, is Negan, because Negan didn't kill her. I really felt like Negan wasn't really the bad guy in tonight's episode.
I agree. Negan was doing a great job at kind of winning me over, and this is the first time during any of these episodes that I felt this kind of, I don't know, understanding towards Negan. I was really digging his vibe. I loved the way that he actually seemed to care about Sasha. I'm not sure, because they chose not to show us last week how many people she killed, if any, when she stormed the sanctuary, so maybe he doesn't have as much of a grudge against her. Yeah. But I mean, he's a big old fan of her, and some of my favorite lines of the evening were in regards to Sasha tonight. I loved the way he spoke to her.
My favorite line came from Abraham when he said, "I hate the beach. You're walking back to the car with all the sand hitting your nutsack at every step." And it was like, yes, we got one more Abrahamism before he's never on the show again. All right, guys, I do want to remind you, we are live. We have a few minutes left in the show, so put your questions in the comments section. Janelle and I are monitoring them. We want to answer your questions. If you want to know what's happening next, if you want to talk about tonight's episode, you want our opinions on things, we have read the comics. We know a little bit about what's coming in Season 8. So if you guys want to talk about any of that, let us know in the comments. I want to talk real quick, Janelle, favorite moment of Season 7, go.
Favorite moment is also my least favorite moment was the killing of Glenn, because my man Stephen Yen got a bunch of screen time and I love him so much. So even though he died, it was so brilliant. The special effects were incredible. The reactions were amazing. We got introduced to the real Negan, and although it was tough, it was a killer moment. I'm sorry. It was one of the best of the entire series.
I can't understand a word of what you just said, because you cried all season about Glenn, and then you said your favorite part was when he died, and you, Maggie.
It was amazing.
I can't get behind that.
It was so touching. I'll find you. I mean, I will hold on to that forever. I will.
I have to say my favorite moment of the season was tonight's episode.
Wow.
I mean, by far, I think that's my favorite moment of the entire series. I think the only thing that compares is when Carol saved everybody from Terminus. You had Shiva jumping in just as Negan was going to kill Carl. I stood up and clapped. Well, you should have heard us.
Did you see the look on Negan's face? I can't wait to rewatch this episode and just freeze frame on Negan's face when he saw the dang tiger. Yeah. I mean, go back and watch it, you guys. I wish I had my camera ready. Also, last week, this is really fun. This is a fun fact. I might have seen a little bit of Negan crack in the stall with, or in the cell with Sasha. I kind of took a photo of it, but I didn't want to post it out of respect for the actor. But you can totally see a little bit of Negan's butt.
Oh my
And it's
God.
Great for all my ladies out there.
Leave it to Janelle Wheeler and her gremlin gunk lovin' of Negan's crack. I did see somebody just ask a question. Marilyn Chagas said, who left the toy? Now, I'll tell you who left the toy. The toy was a chess piece, one of those things that Dwight likes to carve, and it said, I didn't know. Here's my theory on that. I think that what he meant by I didn't know was I didn't know that Jadis and the team was going to betray you.
Oh.
Because I'm sure instantly when Jadis and the Junkyard Squad pulled their guns out, Daryl was probably just ready to shoot Dwight. Like, he knew, he set us up. I think that was Dwight's way of leaving it, because Daryl's the only one who knows that Dwight carves those little things. And Daryl found it, and it said, I didn't know. So that's my theory. And I'm going to go ahead and write that up on the site.
I actually love that.
That was the first time I said it.
That makes me feel a lot better. I actually have a question, too. Norval Merrill is asking, what happened to Gregory between the last episode and the finale? Mysterious.
Well, he went to the sanctuary, But what
How
is he
did he
doing?
get there? I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
like he can't even kill zombies.
I know.
Like he brought one guy.
Cal.
Yeah, I don't know. I wish that I'm a little frustrated. I wish that they would show us some of these scenes that we don't get to see. For example, Gregory's journey to the sanctuary and Sasha's journey inside the sanctuary. But yeah, that's a really great question, and I'm hoping that maybe we get some more information
We'll
in the
definitely
next season.
see. I think we're going to see a lot more of Gregory. We're going to see more of the power struggle at the hilltop, and I'm ready for it. I did see Amy just said, what does season 8 bring for Negan? A lot of war.
And hopefully hopefully he gets locked up. I mean, that's what I've heard. If you guys don't know, I don't like to read ahead in the comics. I like to stay where we are in place, but I have heard, rumblings that perhaps he becomes, I don't know, captured by our people. I think that could totally happen.
Should I tell the people what happened?
I mean, you always do. Come on.
So this is what I'm here for. I have the best job ever. I get to spoil the Walking Dead comics for people. So in the comics, here's what happens. They have a huge battle. They have multiple battles. Negan throws grenades at Alexandria, which I think was tonight's kind of version of that. But then there's battles where the army shows up at the sanctuary. There's battles out at the outpost. There's all kinds of stuff that happens. But all of it comes to a head. They have a war. They have a fight, a final fight. Negan and Rick come face to face in front of everybody. Rick gets a knife on Negan, nicks his throat, and I was like, no, don't kill Negan. And then I was like, what kind of person are you? You don't want Negan dead? He doesn't kill him. He just nicks his throat and ends up this doesn't happen before Negan breaks Rick's leg. But he does elect not to kill Negan. He puts him in jail because he wants to prove a point that they are better than people who kill. They can rebuild society, and they want Negan to serve as a symbol of that.
Seems like Negan is kind of wanting that too. I mean, he's letting on that he wants there to be something on the other side of this. He just wants to be in charge, so we'll see. I actually have another great question from Xavier. Will Rick come after Jadis? He knows where she is.
I don't know if that's a priority. Like that,
Gotcha.
Rick seems smarter. Like Daryl is the type of character who would go after somebody for betraying him. But Rick is smart enough to know you have to pick and choose your battles. You can't just go after people because you're mad. We heard just now Jadis is going to be back. But what capacity? How? Is she just going to be one of Negan's grunts now?
Yeah.
Is she even going to be part of the war?
And that's where I kind of think that maybe he would go after her, because if he can eliminate that entire group of scavengers, it eliminates so much more power that Negan has. So we'll see.
And that's a total wild card because, like I said earlier, they don't exist in the comics. This whole Junkyard Gang is not a part of the comic book storyline, so there is no way to predict what's next for them.
Oh, here, Adam Harrison asks, would you have trusted the scavengers? Ever, like, to begin with, would you have?
Hard pass and scavengers. I can't understand why Rick found such a huge cache of guns and still felt the need to go to Jadis. You have skilled fighters. I mean, I know you don't have super huge numbers, but you can bring those guns to the hilltop of the kingdom and then persuade them to join. Why bring
it
them
makes
to the
you
stranger?
wonder what would have happened if they would have, if Tara would have told them about Oceanside before they came across these scavengers.
Yeah, I wonder if Tara regrets that. Well, now Rosita's shot because of the Junkyard Gang. I don't think Rosita's going to die, but that's one of the big question marks heading into the offseason. What's going to happen to Rosita? Rick got shot,
I just don't want
too.
Sasha's death to be in vain. Like, she wanted to save Rosita, and I really hope that they keep Rosita around. I also have seen spoilers of the comic, and I hope Rosita gets her death.
I hope so, too. And Christian Stratus, I've talked to her about that in the past, and she wants to see that as well. She's really hoping, because I feel like all of these actors kind of take ownership of their character's death in the comics. We had a video a couple weeks ago, Father Gabriel, Seth Gilliam talking about it. And Father Gabriel...
He killed it tonight!
He has one of the most brutal deaths in all of the Walking Dead comics. And Seth Gilliam is just like, yeah, I want it. Give it to me. That would be amazing. So, and I know Stephen Yeun was adamant about wanting Glenn to die with Negan. So I think all these actors want to see their comic book deaths.
I love that.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a really funny question. Parker Calvin says, what Hogwarts house do you think the Walking Dead characters would be in?
Wait, what's Hogwarts house?
Yeah.
Well, Jadis would be in Slytherin.
For sure. Yeah. Rick would be Gryffindor
absolutely.
for sure. Tara would be Hufflepuff.
I could see it.
Carl has to be with Dad. Carl's like the Harry Potter of.
Yeah. Carl is the Harry Potter of this situation.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
Yeah,
We
that's
need to
a
get
great
that kid
question.
wand.
We need to go through every single one of these characters, and we can probably do that online. Find us on Twitter, and I will totally have this conversation with you because I love Harry Potter too.
And with that, guys, we have just a couple of minutes left for a couple more questions. We are live, so you can drop them in the comment section. If you missed our interview with Pollyanna McIntosh or the cast talking about what 100 episodes means to them when our show ends, you can go back to the beginning and catch all of that. I promise you it's worth it. It's pretty cool stuff.
Yes.
So let's get just a couple more questions before we wrap it up. This is our season 7 finale of
Let's
After the Dead.
find
Really, it's
some
season 1 for
more.
us, but it's season 7.
This is crazy because this is probably the busiest our comment section has been. So thank you, you guys. You're amazing for sending all of these in.
And you know why that is? That's because Talking Dead has been pushed back an hour. So we have a lot of new eyeballs. Thank you guys for watching. We do this every Sunday night after The Walking Dead. When season 8 starts, we will be back again, and I hope to see you here. We had a lot of fun, and we do a lot of fun interviews.
Asking, Rosanna, is Oceanside going to join Rick's army in the next season?
I don't think so.
Really?
Oceanside in the comics is a super obscure group. They don't become a factor until after the war. Michonne goes and hides there, which would mean Carol's going to go and hide there because there's a lot of character swapping going on with the comic book storylines when being adapted to television. I don't see Oceanside becoming a huge factor. I think they've already served their purpose. They were introduced to provide guns.
Gosh, I was thinking the opposite. I was really hoping that they were going to come in, swoop in, kind of like Maggie did, kind of like the Kingdom, and that they would save the day a little bit. But then again, you're right. No weapons.
Yeah, exactly. So what good do they bring other than just being bodies?
Wow.
I like how me and Janelle kind of, we see it so differently.
We really do.
Sometimes we're on the same page, sometimes we're not. Either way, we have fun.
We're getting the what happened to Heath question again. I am with you guys on this. I am so confused. I want to know where Heath is. He is filming another show. We do know this. And with scheduling and things like that, we know that The Walking Dead has a crazy schedule and you're not on episodes for a long time. So maybe we'll see him again. Maybe he went and hung out with Oceanside after he disappeared. I don't know, but I am hoping that we see him again, as well as Dwight's wife. I'm really hoping we see these
She is one I'm not sure about. I hope we see her, but I do not think we will ever see Heath again on The Walking Dead. Although he is a pretty common... he has a pretty significant role in the comics. Not huge, but he is still alive. I don't think we're ever going to see him again on the show.
Michelle says, does Jadis have a chance with Rick? No. Let's
Definitely.
hope not.
Oh, definitely.
No, absolutely not.
No,
Michonne, just let Michonne get all healed up. And no one has a shot with Rick anymore. Not once she's feeling good and great. I mean, her face was awesome. I tweeted, I said, Michonne, you are a class act. Because she just let it slide. She did not chop the lady's head off. I was really waiting for a Michonne butcher moment, but that's
But
cool.
Michonne's face looked a little bit worse to end the show.
But if she would have chopped off Jadis's head, Rick wouldn't have gotten shot. And anyways, I could just go on and on.
that is unfortunately all we have time for. That puts an end to season 7, guys. I did see Kathy in the comment section say she was screaming. I wish we did a live stream of us watching the show because we were too. That concludes After the Dead for season 7, guys. Thank you so much for taking this ride with us. I do want to give 2 shout-outs. One to the South Carolina Gamecocks who just won the women's NCAA basketball tournament.
Yay.
I'm a Gamecock for life. Spurs up. And to my mom. It's her birthday today. I know you're watching, Mom. Happy birthday. Everybody in the comment section right now, happy birthday. Michelle, I hope you're okay with that. We do a live show every weekday on Comicbook.com called The Get Up, hosted by Chris Killian. And we do Comic Book Now every Thursday, hosted by myself and our fellow Walking Dead expert, Charlie Ridgely. I hope to see you guys all off-season long on Comicbook.com/The Walking Dead. When we hear it, you hear it. I'm interviewing Andrew Lincoln tomorrow, so send me your questions on Twitter, @BrandonDavisPD, to catch up with Janelle in the off-season, @Janelle Wheeler. And we hope you have a great off-season, survive somehow. Fear the Walking Dead starts in June. We'll see you in the fall.